Plumbing Solutions educational series. In this episode, we're going to talk about the right angle drill. Now, this is a large drill and quite possibly one of the most powerful handheld electric tools that you're going to have on your truck. And what it's used for is for driving large bits, for boring large holes in confined spaces, such as in between two studs in a wall or two ceiling joists or something like that. Now, whenever I do a specific tool or a fixture, I like to talk a little bit about the history of it. Now, drills go back thousands and thousands of years, and there's a lot of history there. But for this, we're going to stick to the electric drill. Now, the first patent for the electric drill came out in 1889. It was an Australian gentleman. He basically just took an electric motor, hooked a drill bit onto it, and plugged it in. It was pretty stationary. It was more like a drill press than a handheld drill. We didn't really see a handheld drill until about 1895, where somebody took it and put some handles on the side of it. A little bit different than what we have today. Now, in 1917, you see the arrival of the pistol grip style drill. Now, it didn't look like this. It didn't have a battery. It was still corded, but now you've got it in your hand like that. And they made some advancements. They improved upon it. Up until 1961, you see the introduction of the first cordless drill. Now, these guys didn't have a whole lot of power. The battery was made into it. It wasn't a pack that you could change in and out. And I have personal experience with this style drill. We had one probably in the mid-80s. It was a Makita, I believe. But it was pretty much a solid thing with a battery in the handle. And when it died, you had to plug it into a little wall plug. And that poor little guy was barely good for driving a screw, let alone really drilling anything. And it spent more time on the charger than it did getting used. It just didn't have the power that stuff has today. And then when the battery died, you had to throw the drill away. But before the electric drill, I do have this guy, and I pulled him out of my museum. This is called either a belly drill, a chest drill. I've seen people call it a breast drill, but it's a ring and pinion style gear driven. It does have a 3-pronged chuck, and basically with this you can put a bit in there like you do your normal drills or your drills today, and you press it up against the wall and you crank that handle, and that's basically how that worked. This was your first cordless drill. But that kind of wraps us up there for the history. We're going to jump into the parts and kind of how to use this. Alright, so what I've got here is what they call the Milwaukee Super Hog. Now, there's lots of different brands out there, lots of different styles. This is the one that we prefer, and I really like using this one. I've used different ones over the years. Some of them are more square, a little bit taller, but this one seems to get you in some of those really tight places, and it's got a lot of power. It's got 2 speeds here. A lot of people don't know that. It's got a high and a low range. Basically, high is going to give you a lot of RPMs with a lot less torque, which torque is that bite. And of course, RPMs is revolutions per minute. That's how fast it's spinning. So your high range is going to spin really fast, but it's not going to really have that bite. This drill does have bite to it. Don't get me wrong. And then this one has a low gear. Now, a low gear, you're going to lose those RPMs and you're going to pick that torque up. So you're going to have a lot more power there, but you're not going to be spinning quite as fast. It's just a nice feature. You'll find where you like it, and you'll probably use one or the other. The other neat thing about this guy is there's a button here that you can actually turn the handle. So you can operate this in various different positions. It goes in three directions, all the way on that side, and then of course back to the center and then back around the other way. It is a directional drill. It does have forward and reverse. It's got a palm grip handle on top of it. This is a heavy tool. This is a two-handed tool. You're not going to be slinging this around by one hand because it does have some weight to it. Now, it also comes with a large handle, and I've never really figured out the purpose of this guy. If it didn't have this large shaft and it was closer to the drill, I feel like it would work better than being way out here, because you lose a lot of control when you increase the length of that handle. So I really think they messed up on the design there, but I don't make the drills. But it does have this handle, but you probably won't use it for anything. The other important thing is this is a 3-jawed chuck, which means it's got 3 little prongs that work in and out. And you can spin it by hand for a little bit. You know, open that thing up. Most of the bits you're going to be driving are going to be pretty large. Put that bit in there and then twist this down by hand as much as you can to lock that in place. Now, it's not like your cordless drill. This is not a keyless chuck. You're going to have to use your key. And you basically put that in and give it a couple turns and lock it in place. These bits are big and there's a lot of power. That's why they still are using a key. Throughout history, all your drills had keys. The keyless chuck was an invention that came about much later. But that's pretty much it. As with all tools, when you take this out of the box before you use it the first time that day, check your cord, look at your cord, look at your handles, look at your housing. Make sure nothing's removed, nothing's broken. Don't modify these things, meaning don't take the handles off, don't take the knobs off, don't beat on it with a hammer. But that's pretty much it. Once you use it, put it back in its box. Try to keep it clean. Try not to get dirt and stuff all over it. I've had wood chips get in this little motor thing here before, and it starts throwing wood chips or chunks of concrete at you. This is a piece of equipment that you are going to want to wear gloves, safety glasses, and of course, nowadays we are required to wear those hard hats on our job sites. But that's it. Now we're going to go outside and do a little bit of practical. Well, we're out in the training center now. I'm going to just simply demonstrate how to hold and drill a hole with your right angle drill or your hog drill. First thing to remember, wear your gloves, put your safety glasses on, and this is a rough end, so put your hard hats on. Here we go. Pretty quick, pretty simple. I'm going to drill it from the other side. Well, and that's pretty much it. Gives you a nice, clean, smooth hole every time.